Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I feel like it has been forever and a minute since I filmed a YouTube video, and I'm so excited to film today. Today is going to be a super special video. As you guys can probably see by the title of the video, I'm going to be walking you guys through how I do my Genie makeup. This spring, New Mexico Ballet Company and New Mexico Philharmonic are putting on the ballet Aladdin and the Magic Lamp, and I get the joy of playing the role of the Genie, which is so exciting and so much fun. Along with having all the fun of the crazy choreography that I get to do, I get to have crazy intense makeup. And the artistic director of New Mexico Ballet Company actually gave me the freedom to kind of do whatever I want with my makeup, kind of. And so I basically just got to play around on my face and kind of create this look that I'm super excited to share with you guys today. So that is what we are going to be doing. I'm going to be walking you through all the steps of how I get my Genie makeup. Now, real quick, I want to tell you guys the dates and times so that if you are interested, you guys can buy tickets to come see this amazing company and this amazing music be performed live at Pope Joy Hall. Next weekend, Saturday, March 17th at 6 p.m. and Sunday, March 18th at 2 p.m. You can get your tickets at newmexicoballetcompany.com. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And now for the part we've all been waiting for, let's jump right into the video. I'm gonna start off priming the skin with the YSL Blur Primer. So I'm just gonna be dabbing this all over the skin. For foundation, I'm going to be using the Milani Conceal and Perfect in the shade Warm Beige, as I always do. Now, I love me a good full coverage foundation, and I really feel that this Milani Conceal and Perfect is a great full coverage drugstore foundation. However, when I blend out my foundation, I like to use a brush because I feel like the brush does a good job of dispersing the makeup without shearing it out. I feel like beauty blenders, typically because they're wet and because they are a sponge, I feel like they do shear out the makeup a little bit and make it a little bit less full coverage, which is, like I said, why I prefer to use a brush. This is the Morphe M439. This is my all-time favorite foundation brush, because it's dense, but it's so soft. Unbelievable. Next, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade Sand. And I'm just going to be placing this generously under my eye. I just set my face with the Ben Nye Luxurious Powder in the shade Banana, and I'm going to brush it away using this giant fluffy brush. Now next, I'm going to be taking the Sonia Kashuk Angled Brush, and I'm going to be filling in my eyebrows using the NYX Ultimate Brights palette in this blue shade right here. Next, I'm going to be using the Milani Eyeshadow Primer, and I'm going to be placing this all over the lid. Now, going in with a Morphe R37, I'm going to be taking this same shade that we put on our brows, and I'm going to be placing this lightly, buffing this out above our lid. Now that we have that color nice and buffed out, we're going to be taking an M433, and we're going to be dipping into this royal blue color right here, this tiny little one right here. And we're going to be placing this a little bit deeper into the crease. Again, following that line of the winged out, kind of blown out look. Next, I'm going to be taking the 29A palette in the shade Indigo, which is this kind of navy shade right here, in a E124 AOA Studio. It's just tiny little precision brush. I'm going to be placing this directly onto that crease and just defining that same shape a little bit more. Now going back in with that same N433 that we used earlier, we're going to blend this out and kind of buff it out to make sure that there are no harsh lines. Now next I would say is the more difficult side of this look. We are going to cut the crease using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade Light. And I'm going to be using this really flat, thin pencil brush, and I'm going to just be using this to cut and carve out that crease. Alright, and now while the concealer is still somewhat tacky, I'm going to take this little dome-shaped blending brush. I'm going to dip it into this yellow color right here, and I'm going to just pat this all over the lid, just packing this on as densely as possible.
Yes, sir.
Now taking a smaller flattened brush, this is the Wet n Wild, oh, it doesn't say what it is. It's just this really small, super thin brush. I'm going to take that same color and I'm just going to bring it all the way up as tight as I can up to that crease. Now that we've got our base set down, I'm going to go into the Fenty Beauty Trophy Wife, which is this gorgeous gold shimmer. And I'm going to be placing this on the lid with a very flattened AOA Studio E131 brush, which is just this really flat paddle brush. I'm going to be taking a little bit of that and I'm going to be spraying it with a setting spray. And then I'm going to be placing this all over where we put that yellow down. What's really interesting about this is that when you swatch it, it's kind of like a microfine glitter once it's blended out, but when you use a setting spray and pack it down, it almost turns into like a metallic foil, which is really cool. So you can kind of transform the textures of it depending on how you want to use it. Now the reason we put down that yellow base is because we want this glitter to show up as much as possible and to be as vibrant as possible. And if we didn't put that down, it might look a little bit sheer. So the color behind it gives it kind of that pop so that if there is anything see-through, it's the same color and it just gives that shine. Now that the eyeshadow is complete, we're gonna put down some liquid liner, and this is the NYX Vinyl Black Liquid Liner. Next, we are going to be going in with the Kristen Leanne Kaleidoscope Dream Palette. And I'm going to be taking this lighter blue called LCW with the little brush that came in the palette. I'm going to be using this kind of buffer side. I'm going to take a little bit of that and I'm going to buff it on the lower lash line. Now I'm going to be going back in with that same shade Indigo with this tiny definer brush. I'm going to be taking a tiny bit of that and buffing it on the outer corner of the lower lash line. Yeah. Next, I'm going to be taking the NYX Vivid Brights liquid liner in the shade Sapphire, and I'm going to be gently stroking this through my eyebrows to give them a little pop. Just kind of following the lines of my eyebrows, of my eyebrow hairs. I'm not actually placing the liner on my skin, I'm just letting the ink that's on the brush kind of just fluff off onto the hairs that it brushes off onto. Now we're going to move on to the face. So of course we're not going to be using bronzer and blush and all those things because we are a blue genie. So we are going to be taking that same navy blue indigo shade and on a F13 AOA Studio brush, just tapping off the excess, we're going to gently contour.
Yes, sir.
And then with whatever is left over on the brush, I'm gonna gently and very light-handedly brush over in circular motions the rest of my face. That way, there's not such a stark difference between the blue and the foundation. The foundation is gonna have kind of a blue hue to it so that it's a little bit more seamless and it's not so contrasting. I'm gonna take these earrings out. Now I'm gonna be taking a little bit of that color and placing it into my ears. And just brushing over it so that it kind of gives that same bluish hue. We don't have these little pink tipped ears. Next, I'm gonna be taking that same R37 that we used earlier in the same indigo shade and very, very lightly tapping off as much excess as possible. We're gonna be contouring the nose, creating a little bit of shadow, and we're gonna be bringing it all the way up the bridge of the nose into this area, kind of connecting it into the eyeshadow. Blending this out as perfectly as possible because you do not want two blue lines going down the center of your nose. And then also I'm gonna do a little bit under the lip. Like I said, we're just basically using our natural shadows on our face and we're just basically blending them in and making them a little bit more blue so the shadow looks blue and it's not a warm tone skin color. And now for my favorite part, we're going to be highlighting the face, but we're gonna be using that Trophy Wife highlighter and we're gonna be placing this on the high points of our face. This is my all-time favorite highlighting brush. It is the Morphe R36. It's just this really pretty, soft, dome-shaped highlight brush, but it's really fluffy, so you can really get a nice amount of coverage, but you can also get just straight, easy, small areas if you need to. Now, these are the places where the highlight is going to be the most dense. However, we are going to be taking this e.l.f. angled brush, and we're gonna basically be doing this all over the face. So we're just gonna put a little bit of this literally on the entire face to cover it and give it that kind of shimmering golden glow. Now for the lips, I'm gonna be taking this NYX Liquid Suede in the shade Amethyst. Now while the lipstick is still tacky, I'm gonna be taking this shade Dye in the Kaleidoscope Dream Palette, which is this gorgeous purple color. And I'm gonna be placing that and just patting it right over the purple just to give it a little bit more depth. Going back in with that same Trophy Wife with my finger, I'm just gonna be lightly patting this on the center of my lip. Now when you're working with glitters or really powdery eyeshadows or light eyeshadows, you always want to make sure that you put a coat of mascara on your lashes before you put your false lashes on, if you choose to do false lashes. Because the fallout lands on your lashes and gives your lashes a different color than obviously what they are. And so it can be really obvious between the false lashes and your real lashes if they're kind of dusty, if you will. So always give your lashes a good coat before you put them on. I am gonna be taking the Lash Pop lashes in the style On That Perp. I think this is the cutest packaging. Are you kidding me? Like, look at that. It looks like a little lollipop, but there's little lashes inside. So these are gorgeous. They're faux mink, vegan, and cruelty-free. And they're super curly, super wispy. Now, while my lashes are drying, I'm gonna be taking this Marcel eyeliner pencil, and I'm gonna be placing this in my waterline. This is the final look, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this has been such a fun makeup look to kind of experiment with, and every time that I've done it, I feel like I've changed different things and gotten better at other things, and it's been a lot of fun, and I've actually grown a lot just with this one makeup look that I've had to repeat several times. So as always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Go get your tickets for Aladdin. It's gonna be an amazing show, and I hope to see you there. Bye, kitties.